So we're not off to the most positive start. Let's see where this one goes. D12 are back. We covered them on TNNX last time with Shit on You. So this is their first chance to be on the main podcast and be in competition. Oh dear. Shall we do... Well, so the radio play version, the TV version was Purple Hills.
Yeah.
Are we going to talk about Purple Hills first?
Could do.
Oh God. There's someone who is... I know where Scott's going to go now. Let's do Purple Hills first. This is the clean version of Purple Pills.
This is the second track from the debut studio album Devil's Night. They've got verses rapped by Eminem, Bizarre, Proof, Swifty, and a joint verse with Kaniva and Con Artis. Yeah. This, I've only ever heard Purple Hills until I've done the research on this. I'd never heard Purple Pills before. The weird thing for me, right, is I've done talks with hip-hop artists local to me about excessive swearing in songs and how it really impacts radio play. And what it does is it just takes away from your songs whenever you try to clean them. So you do need to get smarter with things. You need to clean things up and not be afraid to make a radio edit, because it will send people to find your dirty edits, if you call them that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The clean version of this is still so dirty that there's so much muting in it. It's a difficult listening experience.
Not as much.
No, by far.
If you think of
you've taken 90% of the stuff out of it here, but there's still so many things in it that the song doesn't flow as a radio edit the way that it really should do. So they needed to have done more.
Do you think
they needed more? I
think in the first minute or two, that's where most of the gaps that are still there or that haven't had lyrics replaced. Most of the rest of the song is like things that have been changed. I've got some favourites. So the main line of the track is like, I take a couple uppers, I take a couple downs. So the lyrics been changed to, I've been so many places, I've seen so many faces. The whole thing, so the song was born out of just goofing around in the studio and playing with syllables. Yeah. So this is an exercise in, like, I guess, of making these two tracks side by side and just writing these lines that can be changed so easily into something else that can be played on the radio. And I think that's really clever. I think it's really cool that they've done that. Yeah. And as a writing exercise, it's really cool. So, like, these shrooms make me hallucinate becomes this room makes me hallucinate. You know, you've used the same syllables, same structure, just made a slight change. He's upstairs naked with a weapon drawn becomes he's upstairs wrestling with Elton John. Here's one that you've said that has some gaps. The Purple Pills version is, I think I did too much. This substance equals cuffs. Red pills, blue pills, green, big pills. That's ill. Mescaline. Just becomes, I think I too much. I think I got the runs. Long silent period. Watch out, here it comes. So they've turned a thing about drugs into, like, the effects of, like, shitting yourself after you've taken drugs. But, you know, me as a kid wouldn't know that. It was just like, it's a song about poo. Some of them are really, really horrible. Am I supposed to choke? Had an accident when the Trojan broke. Ah, poor baby. Born by a whore lady. Now I got a strangler. Blank. But in the lyrics it says infant. And there's a scream. And then it's actually, most of that line stays the same. The Trojan thing's still there, but they've bleeped out the word whore, and it says, I'm paying child support, it's your baby. So a lot of these things have been changed. I mean, there's one at the bottom here, I'm not going to say, but it has the C word in it. I defended MOP Cold as Ice and said that was okay. I know I kind of liked how sort of sweary it was, and I think it obviously didn't get a lot of radio play, but it felt effective to me. I heard Purple Hills first, then heard Purple Pills, and I thought, you know what, I like Purple Hills more. I don't need all that stuff in Purple Pills. Both of them sound amazing. Like, the beat is great.
Is it supposed to be funny?
That's what I couldn't work out.
And I think I've had to go to, this is supposed to be funny.
Yes.
And it's supposed to be like a complete story, because if not, who the hell was the target audience for this? You know, there needs to be referrals here to some people at this point.
I think it's meant to be funny, but I can't tell if it's meant to be, like, funny as in taking the piss out of these people, or funny in, like, isn't it funny how cool we are?
This is our lifestyle.
This is our lifestyle, yeah. It's impressive how many drug references there are, like, in terms
actually.
Of, like, if you've set an idea of, like, let's write a song about drugs, they've covered all bases so spectacularly here. Like, it's really impressive how they've done that. You may object to it, you may not be a person who approves of this sort of thing, and that's fair enough. But I mean, the quote from them is, at the time, most MCs rapped about selling drugs or smoking weed, while D12 are happy to sample everything available on the street or in the medicine cabinet.
Oh dear.
Yeah, my official position is I'm impressed by how committed they are to the bit.
Yeah, actually, that is impressive. There's a positive.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if we have they tallied? Have they won an award for the most varied drug references
that could be
in
a
one
world
track?
record. Yeah,
it could be. For me, it actually is typically an Eminem production. It's actually
really is.
a less annoying Eminem production, and then the only thing that they do to make it different is they chuck a harmonica on it. And
Yeah.
the harmonica is the best bloody part of it.
Did it remind you of another Eminem track? Because the sax, the sort of grungy sax, reminded me of Without Me.
Yeah, but it sounds a bit more intelligent, or like a bit more friendly.
Yeah.
A bit less on the like making an attempt to cause a reaction.
Yes,
it's a bit more subtle. It's a bit more professional. This is very much like a 2001 track.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes these things are important to look back and think, Jesus, this is what people have actually said. But I think it's really interesting was this for people that really didn't feel like they had any sort of place in society? People that are like, we're being silenced and all of that kind of crack, and we're being, what's it called when you're cancelled? We're being cancelled. Is this like, is this a track for people who felt cancelled because they take a lot of drugs, or, I don't really know. But this got me so uptight. I just really, even when I convinced myself this is a joke, lighten up. The more I got through it, the less like loose I was with this. I just got really, really uptight. And then I was like, right, I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to really focus on the video this time. They poke fun at a man dressed like a woman. They poke fun at dwarfism. They poke fun at people in wheelchairs. They call women slut. It's just, I'm like, are you helping society by drawing attention to something, or are you, I can't see how there's been any positive impact from this track. Apart from making people find it way more acceptable to do a variation of drugs, and the amount of drugs and the mix of drugs that they're suggesting.
You couldn't even call
as a qualified drugs and alcohol worker myself, like, it is shocking. Even saying, I don't need water. There's something like this mix. I don't need water. There's something about not needing water. I'm like, Jesus, so, and a lot of people do die from too little or too much water, but it's kind of reckless.
You couldn't even call it a drug cocktail, could you? It's like a drug, like a vat full of all sorts of different. It's very excessive.
I don't know how to describe it, and I'm a bit like, did this need to exist? Does it need to exist?
It was number 2 in the charts.
Has it made anybody's life better apart from making people feel, I bought purple pills and I'm listening to songs about drugs? Like, has it ticked any real box for people to make people feel like they're contributing to the world? Like, I don't know.
I listened to it on the metro coming here today, and I was bobbing.
Oh, fuck,
but more to Purple Hills though. I put Purple Pills on, and it's kind of blunted. It's blunted on Purple Pills, whereas like Purple Hills is just a good pop track that everyone can really like, and it's still objectionable.
Yeah,
there's still, you mentioned all of it. Like there's still lots of stuff that's objectionable, even if it's censored. But yeah. When I listened to Purple Hills first, and as I do, had Genius up and looking at the lyrics at the same time, realised what's going on here? Like this isn't the right thing. It's like whenever they show Snakes on a Plane on TV, the Samuel L. Jackson film, who's of course famous for saying motherfucker, they change his "I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucker." They change it to "I've had it with these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane." That's the TV version, and this is kind of the same as that.
Right, yeah, okay.
Musically, I really like it though.
Yeah, yes, and I do think that production-wise, there's a lot going for it that's good. It almost got an intro juice for me, but it didn't. And actually, we're quite thin in intro juices this week for me. But there's so many. You could take this song and you could turn it into something today that would be really successful when you get rid of them lyrics.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And do we need every man and his dog on there doing it? Like, nah. Who are any of these guys?
It's of mixed quality, isn't it? I think some are better than others. Yeah. Like Eminem is always a highlight, but some of them are pretty ropey.
So there's
which one's the one
in the video? They've got Eminem. Is he balling through a desert in a gremlin?
Yeah,
it looks like a 2001 version of the Pizza Boy from Home Alone going to rack up in the desert and deliver desert Kevin McAllister a cheesy pizza. It's, I don't know. So it doesn't make me happy.
You're not a fan? No, I didn't think so.
No, and I don't think. And as much as I say it's very 2001, I do think, like, say in another 30 years' time, I don't want kids to look back to this song in 2001, but 2001 was like that. It really wasn't. This was still an anomaly in 2001. There was a lot of inappropriate stuff. This is in a whole other ball game.